Hi, everybody. Welcome to the DRF Breeding Report. I'm Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo. In this week's edition of the Breeding Report, we will continue our discussion of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies division. And Nicole, we've got some breaking news coming out of Kentucky.
Yeah, Amy's Challenge, who was running the best buyer speed figures of the season so far for any 2-year-old filly up at Canterbury Downs, declared out of this weekend's Grade 1 action coming up at Keeneland. She suffered an episode of tying up, which is a common horseman's term for a condition involving muscle cramping. Can be caused, by stress, by fatigue, and trainer Mac Robertson seeming to indicate that he thinks that the filly might need a break. Hasn't entirely ruled her out of running again this fall. But, for the meantime, she won't be in Grade 1 Alcibiades, which is a big step for the Juvenile Fillies coming up this opening day at Keeneland.
Well, it's certainly a shame as we go back to her most recent start at Canterbury, her second lifetime start. Both of her races at Canterbury came against males. She was so game in this race to turn back a colt that took the lead on her on the outside, and she won with a 92 buyer's speed figure. It's unfortunate that she is out of the Alcibiades. Hopefully, if she does not run again this year, we will see her back ready to rumble as a 3-year-old filly. Now, last year, Moonshine Memories sort of threw down the gauntlet for this division by virtue of her very sharp victory in the Grade 1 Chandelier Stakes. Now we've got a couple of major Grade 1 stakes races and Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly preps on the East Coast. We, of course, have the Alcibiades on Friday at Keeneland. We've got the Frisette on Sunday at Belmont Park. Let's talk a little bit about the New York-based 2-year-olds, starting with Lady Ivanka and Maya Malibu, who are both slated for the Frisette. We're going to take you back to the most recent race, the Spinaway. Both of these horses benefited from a furious pace duel. You picked the Exacta Cold on Spa Babies.
Yeah, and they definitely were helped by that pace setup that we sort of saw coming with Pure Silver and Separation of Powers kind of dueling each other into submission. Lady Ivanka sitting right behind them. Maya Malibu a rallying second. And that was, we'll talk a little bit more about Maya Malibu, but that was a hard track to ship into the Saratoga meet. I'm definitely looking for her to improve with some distance. Lady Ivanka, I'm wondering how far she's going to want to go if the mile, perhaps without that pace setup might be her undoing, because there's a lot of sprinter types in this family.
I agree 1,000%. You look at Lady Ivanka's pedigree. She's by 'Tis Wonderful out of an officer mare. This female family, speedy and precocious. She's going to have to stretch out in the Frisette. Conversely, Maya Malibu has this pedigree that, boy, distance should be her friend.
Yeah, of course, she's by Malibu Moon, a very good filly sire, very good route distance sire from the AP Indy line. She's out of Grade 1 Acorn winner Island Sands, who trained on to win the Delaware Handicap as an older horse. She's the dam of a very good steeplechase horse in Martini Brother, and man, those horses have got to have stamina. They've got to be tough. So when I see that in a pedigree, I always take it as an indicator of, that the horse wants to be long-winded. This is the family of Queen's Plate winner Nigon. Nothing but two-turn class, really, in Maya Malibu's family. And like I said, Saratoga, it was a hard track to ship into this year, especially for those inexperienced 2-year-olds. And I think the added distance is going to be to her benefit.
Now, the Spinaway did come back a slow race in terms of buyer speed figures. An intriguing new face for the Frisette is expected to be Todd Pletcher's Critique. This is a daughter of Midnight Loot. Interesting that she was entered in turf races both times. Both of those races were washed off, and boy, she really impressed over a wet track last time out, winning by 16 lengths.
Yeah, just absolutely rolled. And she's by a champion sprinter in Midnight Loot and half to a stakes-placed sprinter, but I think there's some sneaky clues in the pedigree that she could go a little bit longer, at least to a middle distance. She is coming up that 7-furlong win. Midnight Loot could get you at least a middle distance runner with horses like Midnight Aria, winner of the Queen's Plate, Malibu winner, Shaking It Up, Acorn and Humana Distaff winner, Midnight Lucky on his resume. And this one a little bit further back in her female family. You see some Grade 1 winners like Overanalyze, Meadow Breeze. I think the mile, at least, might be within her scope. And this is a very interesting spot for her. I think she's shown that she does want to be on dirt.
With Amy's challenge unfortunately out to Friday's Grade 1 Alcibiades, favoritism probably goes to another daughter of Midnight Loot, and that is Kelly's Humor, who is really tough. She has run 3 times already. She is a stakes-winning sprinter. She is Grade 2 placed routing. What did you think of her performance in the Pocahontas, her first start around 2 turns? Did you think she finished with the same oomph that she showed in those sprint races?
I think, she finished with some good interest, closing for second there behind a horse who just ran the race of her life. I did like that race, and I like that she's shown some versatility. She won her debut going a mile on the lead, rallied from well back to win out at 7 furlongs, and then used that closing style again in the Pocahontas. I think with Amy's challenge out of the Alcibiades, there might be a little bit less speed in the race. We'll see what she gets to close into. But, I do really like the versatility that she showed. And as we just discussed about Midnight Lou, I think the mile and a 16th at least is within her scope.
Nicole's Pedigree Pick segment on our Out of the Gate program, a very popular feature. What do you have on tap this week for our friends at home?
Well, this week I think we're going to take a look at a Bet She Wins and Captivating Moon, who will be starting in the Alcibiades and the Breeders' Futurity, respectively, at Keeneland for trainer Chris Block. Both of them coming in from Arlington. Both of them will be trying dirt for the first time off some impressive stakes performances, and these are really a couple of interesting 2-year-olds.
Out of the Gate, of course, will be uploaded to DRF.com and on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel on Thursday evening, and will be on live.drf.com at 12:30 p.m. on Friday afternoon and on demand all weekend long. You can follow Nicole on Twitter at DRF Russo and get all the latest news and notes from the breeding world with DRF's breeding page on Twitter at DRF Breeding. We'll see you next week on the DRF Breeding Report.